survive against a literal fly hacker or win against a sweat who has a diamond hammer combo? Also, subscribe. Well, let's start off by how I'm rushing yellow, and I'm using the new gauntlet weapon which was just added into the game, so my combos are going to be insane. And even though I'm using the new overpowered weapon, I still lose that fight because of my super bad ping. But I don't let that stop me. I know that my opponent is already going to be really low, and I end up taking his bed, and now we're fighting again. I end up getting a really nice combo on him and sending him flying into the void. And then I go get diamonds, but then I see purple rushing to go get emeralds, and I can't let purple get any emeralds, or he's going to save up and buy some really powerful gear that would make me lose the game. But as I'm rushing middle, purple definitely sees me, and he starts building up like crazy to try teleport back to his base. But I'm definitely not letting him get away that easily, so I build up to him as well and then use my electro dash to dash into him, which will deal some extra damage and stop him from teleporting back to his base. And I can definitely tell that this guy isn't subscribed to my channel because he's not using my super sneaky recall trick that I showcased in my last video. However, we both got each other insanely low, and even though he's definitely 1 HP, he starts building up, and as I start building up to him, he ends up knocking me down, and I now am super low. How am I gonna survive this fight and steal his emeralds? Now onto this match that I played, which was really scuffed. To start off, my forgery was glitched out and it wouldn't give me my dagger. And this would only be one out of the many different problems that I face in this game. So reluctantly, I rushed my enemy with the sword that I am now forced to use. And I get completely rolled by this Kalia kit. I instantly try again and go back to rush him to try take his bed. And I get a little bit luckier this time around with the PvP fight because this time I end up getting a nice slide combo on him, taking him out. And I was able to get his bed, but for some reason the bed turned completely black, which is definitely a glitch. And then I go back to fighting orange, knowing that his bed was definitely gone. But then he hits an insane combo on me, so I had to build up. I dash into his iron generator and then use it to buy some armor. But then I see that he's going to rush my base, so I use my electro dash ability to catch up to him. But then he builds another massive tower. There isn't really much I could do here, so I just went back to my base and tried to buy a dagger, and nothing was happening. For whatever reason, my entire game was literally broken, and now I'm still playing at a massive disadvantage, and I didn't want to lose my win streak, so I had to persist. I then used my forge and finally got my dagger. Now I can finally take on orange with a fair fight. And even though he was building another massive tower, I was able to get an insane combo on him and wipe him out of the game. I then gear up and head to mid. And as I'm collecting more emeralds to potentially buy myself a crossbow or diamond dagger, by using third person, I was able to see that Pink was sneaking up on me, trying to steal my juicy emerald. And I'm hiding behind this wall, waiting for him to get close enough for me to jump him. But as I dash into him, he pulls out a diamond hammer. Will I be able to win this fight and take home my emeralds? Back to this game where I got knocked down from 50 HP to 2 HP. I start running back to try recall back to my base, but my opponent takes a ton of full damage. And as he builds up, he ends up getting stuck and then takes more full damage and ends up dying. I then run back to collect more emeralds, but then I see that same purple guy about to rush my base. So I had to recall back to my base so he doesn't take my bed. And as soon as I recall back to my base, I need to be quick because this guy is probably right behind me ready to take my bed. So I quickly buy a diamond dagger and enough upgrades to win me the fight, and as expected, he was ready to attack. He ends up getting a crazy combo on me, but because of my diamond gauntlets, I was able to deal a ton of damage to him. But then out of nowhere, this guy just starts flying above me and then drops down without taking any full damage. I'm not sure if he was cheating or what was going on, but I had completely destroyed him in that PvP fight. And honestly, I'm not complaining right now. But if I have to face this guy again, I don't know if I'll be as lucky this time. But then as I was getting diamonds, I see the crazy flying purple guy fighting another team. And I need to get purple out of the game because I don't want to have to deal with that insane flying stunt that he pulled on me earlier. So I end up rushing to get a quick third party, and I end up killing the guy that was fighting the purple guy, and the purple guy ends up leaving the game. So then I decided to head back to middle to try get some better gear, but my luck was definitely running out this time around because this guy with full iron gear was trying to collect emeralds as well. And even though we end up trading a lot of hits on each other, I don't have iron armor, so I start to get really low. My plan now is to build up to try get a surprise attack on him and either knock him into the void and deal a crazy amount of full damage or get a crazy combo on him. And even though my plan had gone smoothly and I ended up dropping on him with a crazy combo, it still wasn't enough. I was still below half health and he was getting some crazy bow shots on me. I have no idea if I'm gonna make it out or not. And yeah, even though I did end up dying, I still have one last stroke on my sleeve. I know that he isn't gonna be waiting around for me at mid. So I go back there and collect the leftover emerald. And I might just have enough to go get some diamond gear or some telepearls. So after collecting a couple emeralds, I decide that I will go rush him with a telepearl and an axe. But will I successfully make the rush and win the game, or will I be destroyed? I then start this next game off really strong with a nice clean bed break with my electro dashes, whilst comboing the living heck out of this Fortuna kit. And a lot of people tend to use really overpowered kits in Bed Wars nowadays, and it's really hard to keep up. But while I'm collecting emeralds and getting ready for this next fight, I want to tell you guys a little secret. I'm giving my subscribers who are early to my videos a free kit for themselves. So if you guys are subscribed and early to this video and my next video, I might slide you guys a kit. But check this out. These guys are chasing each other at mid, and now that I've geared up, I'm ready to take back the middle. But that may have been the biggest mistake that I have made. This Omega Sweaty Tryhard completely destroys me with a stone sword. And now I'm really mad. No one combos me and takes away my diamond gauntlet. So I plot my revenge. Since this guy is using the Jade kit, all I need to do is buy a single gloop to completely disable his ability. So my current goal is to get him in a position where he needs to stop himself from falling into the void. And then I use the gloop on him and make him fall straight into the void. And as expected, he is walking on my bridge. So I splash him with a gloop. And now his ability is completely disabled. So I rush him from behind and start comboing the living crap out of him. And as planned, he fell straight into the void, unable to use his Jade Hammer ability. And he's out of the game. So then I go back to mid and reclaim my diamond gauntlet. But to win this game, I have to take on someone with iron armor. And even though I have my diamond gauntlets, I'm still completely undergeared. Will I end up beating this fully kitted out diamond guy? Or will I lose the fight, putting me at a massive disadvantage? Back to the game where green was rushing me. Ultimately, I had ended up losing that fight. The diamond hammer was just way too strong for me. But that's okay. Instead of rushing back to mid, I then decide to collect the gold bars and diamonds, as I figured that no one would have really rushed them yet. I can then further increase my damage and armor protection. But as I was putting some of my resources away, the same guy decides to teleport on me and rush me, but now he has a crossbow. I can't fight this guy. I have even worse gear than before, and he has a long-range crossbow. So I then decide to use my electro dashes to take his bed and then take his iron, but he teleports back to his base. And since he ends up dealing a crazy amount of damage with the hammer, I decide to build up and get cover. After regenerating a bit of health, I then decide to go rush him again. I have the element of surprise here, and he does not expect me to rush him while I'm high up on a tree. And as he starts to build up, I dash right into him, making him take some major full damage. And now that I have the upper hand, I go down and finish the kill. But hang on, my bed is destroyed, and I need to quickly recall back to my base and destroy one of the two remaining enemies. He ends up setting up a little explosive trap at my base, but doesn't realize that his plan is about to completely backfire on him. I end up destroying his trap and making him completely explode into the void. And since I'm using the electric kit, I'm able to safely get back to my base by using my dashes. But we can't celebrate so soon, because this final guy is trying to third party me and ends up getting exploded by this guy's same trap. I end up glooping him, disabling his UZ ability, and this is going to be a really close fight as he has a diamond sword, but I end up clutching up and winning that game. Back to the game where I was rushing with my teleport and diamond axe. I was quickly able to take out his bed, but not long after dying. I then go and collect some diamonds, and then he ends up bowing me off my bridge. Luckily, I was able to think fast and block clutch. But then, as we start having a little bow fight, he teleports right onto me with a diamond gauntlet. And then I get a crazy bow, gloop, and sword combo, which ends up making me win that game. And to top it all off, Orange ends up getting absolutely destroyed by me, and I end up taking his bed and winning that game.